bishops, uneven pawn structure, white king still in the middle of the board. This is all we could dream of. And I think black looked like he had an edge. And now I'm seeing this move, queen a8, and the engine looks like it doesn't like this move at all. But this is somebody's going to win, no? Like, this feels like somebody's going to win. I don't see it being an easy task for white to save this position.
Rook sacrifice by Fabiano.
But you've got the 7th rank under control. And did he actually take the rook?
He absolutely did. So
something bad is happening to the white king.
Right.
Surely.
I mean, the first move that screams out to be played is rook takes pawn, threaten checkmate on e2.
Wow, geometrical features all over the place here.
Absolutely. So rook c2. What do we have? Bishop d2. Yes. And then queen e4.
Let's jump in and show this on the board. Yeah, we need to calculate here. Rook takes c2. Ooh, evaluation bar is gonna make a mockery of us, Maurice.
Well, it makes it. Yeah, I don't know. Rook. The other thing that I think we need to pay attention to, since the king cannot castle, is the possibility of c5 bishop b5, right, or e5 bishop g4. So this bishop could feature in. The queen at the moment is not doing anything. The white queen, and even if you give it 2 moves, it doesn't do anything. Like queen d8. If the bishop moves, then queen e7 doesn't do anything because king g6 and the piece is essentially safe. Although it's starting to remind me of a puzzle I created with f5 here at some point.
Ooh.
f5 and queen e8. Isn't that mate?
It would be if the bishop wasn't protecting so close
protecting the square. But I have this as a puzzle. It's almost reminding me of a puzzle I gave the GMs. But no. So why is it that white is okay before this move, or white is just lost in that position? It looks like.
So
What, queen c2?
live position.
Right.
Also bishop d2.
Oof, there's so many choices. There's queen c2. There's queen c3. There's don't castle now.
Okay, queen c2 is and the evaluation bar is approving.
But what's going on? Maybe bishop d2, rook b1?
Oh wow, so simple. Just
That
mopping up
was
some
boring.
material.
But maybe simply e5 and bishop g4? But castle is a threat.
Castle is a threat.
Castle is a threat. So maybe now queen e4?
Check. And let's say I move. Ooh, actually, wait.
Where? Then queen
Whoops.
f4,
Whoops.
just in
No,
case. Let's grab it.
This looks like pain.
Yeah, so let's go to this square. But now your idea, Maurice, may be on the board. Something with this bishop coming in.
And c5.
Yeah, c5.
c5 looks deadly. Invite everyone to the party. But
If he survives this, Firouzja, it's going to be a miracle, right?
Absolutely.
c2 is on the board.
Fabi, he's worked it all out. You know him better than most, Maurice. Is this just the form of his life right now?
Well, I can't say that because he played in the Singfield Cup and won 7 in a row back in 2014 against this exact kind of opposition. So he is playing absolute high-level chess, and he played won 7 in a row to start the competition, by the way. He's playing great chess. I think that he now is catching his second wind. He was at 2830 plus at one point, and now he's 50 points off his rating high, which most of us would just start crying if that happened. And he's such a fabulous player as well. He was number 2 in the world for so long. I think he might be catching that stride. And I know for a fact that for Fabi, it's world champion or bust, especially now that Magnus has abdicated the throne. He's thinking, I've got to show my stuff right now, particularly with all the young players who are coming up. The time is ticking. He's in his 30s now. He's broken that barrier. You know, as a chess player, you start saying, okay, what's the real deal? Not that he's old, but for chess, yeah, you're kind of old, especially with all these youngins. I mean, can you imagine almost double the age of Gukesh? That's
kind of scary. And on the subject of young talent, I mean,
That this is potentially decisive on the tournament standings. Shall we check in there? It feels like Fabiano has a knockout blow. He has a winning move, but he has paused right now for 10 minutes. He's trying to work out all of the details. We did predict this position here with Maurice. Maurice was trying to get this black bishop into the game. That feels like it could be the final ingredient in a winning attack. But how to do it? and how to just break white's defenses here. Currently, black is a rook down, so time is of the essence. Where do we start? What's going through
C5?
Fabiano's mind? C5. You want to come out with a check. And I remember we highlighted this, and the evaluation bar didn't approve for some mysterious reason. Maybe it just gives white enough time to push the pawn and run away.
Was it here that c5 was not good enough?
Yeah, so maybe you should do a check first, right?
Queen d3?
Yeah. And then I guess you have, if you go king f2, it's more than sufficient, right, to go rook takes bishop. I'm hoping.
I think so.
I think so, right. That's what I would guess it. So if you have to go king e1, now c5?
Or e5. That's another option. And bishop g4.
Yeah, so we can open up the bishop this direction, we can open up the bishop this direction. You just have to choose here if you're Fabi. Queen and rook alone, unlikely to deliver checkmate. Where is the win? He's doing the right thing. This is great and instructive for everyone. Just he knows.
And he plays queen d3 check.
Yeah.
He's precise all the time.
He's precise, and also he knows he has a draw up his sleeve, so it's easier to sacrifice a rook if you know you can repeat moves. Just in case, if everything goes wrong, you can give a couple of queen checks, but of course he wants more.
So let's see what is the move. c5. What can white do against that?
c5, again, it depends on whether the white queen can come back in time, maybe give some checks.
Queen d8, bishop b5, queen e7, king g6.
And white can take this pawn, queen takes e6 at the end. And let's put
But
this on
maybe
the board.
c5, queen d8, and maybe...
Let's,
Okay.
just to show, bishop b5 does threaten checkmate in one, but it does allow the white queen to check and come back, covering this square. So, Judith, you wanted something else in this position?
No, it seems like it doesn't work.
Maybe now we give the check.
Queen e4 check.
Because now, yeah, king f2 walks into queen takes pawn check. Due to this pin, the white bishop cannot take the queen. This looks decisive, and yeah, if you go to f1, the key detail is now there's a check, and this will be checkmate. Next move, killer on the diagonals. Do you think that's going to be found?
I'm sure. I mean, here he has to be calculating all the possibilities, and there is not much, I believe. I mean, you have this queen e4 idea, you have c5, e4, and you have to check queen e4 in every move. After c5, before c5, but now that would be a repetition.
So he tried to go via e4 with the black queen. Now it feels like he's got the perfect square. c5, is this just the end? How does white stop this? I don't see it. I can't bring my rook in just to show the rook can try to defend, but now the king gets actually trapped within its own pieces. Checkmate coming next move.
Well, probably king. Yeah.
Could you just run away?
Well, king f2, rook d2.
Any time in these positions, yeah, king f2 will be met by a capture, and black simply has too many pawns, and it will likely end in checkmate anyway. Wow.
What a
Fabi.
game by Fabi.
Yeah, what a brilliant idea. Brilliant choice of opening as well, just to go into a type of position where you would think that Firouzja would be in his element, but Fabi had it all worked out. Very impressive.
And that's the thing, the top players, well, players in general, they want to be the ones attacking. Defending is hard, and this is one of those cases. Firouzja grabbing a rook, but likely to be punished.
Certainly, and it's all to do with the fact that white's pieces are just badly placed. And there we see Alireza Firouzja and Fabiano Caruana just sitting there. Fabi contemplating, calculating those lines. And we're going to leave those players there because we are joined by a very...
You have a feeling for it, and the bar goes down very low. But black has 3 pawns for the exchange. But the question is, what is the best way of winning, right? Can black give checks, and does it lead anywhere? That's the first question. Maybe queen e3, queen king h2, queen e5 check.
Hmm.
And then
And the king keeps running. King g1.
then queen e1 and queen h4. At least I'm winning a pawn.
Ooh.
Though I'm not 100% sure that it's so good for black, because suddenly the h1 rook can be powerful.
He's doing the same thing.
Ah, yeah, this is much easier. This is a much easier way of doing it. Of course, check on h4, then and then eventually maybe he will just grab the d6 pawn.
Right, and
If there's nothing better.
he just has to make sure that his queen can hold that contact point with the g7 square, and it's all good.
Just grabbing all the pawns. It's like a windmill here. It's like a Ferris wheel almost. He's just going round and round with the black queen, winning all these pawns. And now he can give another check via f4 or e5. Grab this d6 pawn. And yes, the white rook might get active, but it looks like too many pawns.
There is one tiny trap that I can see. So, for instance, if you were to go queen takes pawn on d6.
Yeah. Queen takes d6. I think we'll be seeing it any moment.
There's no trap. I'm hallucinating.
There we go. Another pawn drops. It's
Yeah.
currently 6 pawns against 1 for Fabi, but one of those will drop now.
So after rook h7, is it queen g3?
Queen g3.
But
Or
rook
queen
takes h7 is impossible. Black plays queen f8 and trades off the queens.
Yeah, so queen f8 is the other move, and probably that's the simplest.
Yeah. White has to just take that pawn with the queen now.
Yeah. And Fabi, plenty of time. 8 minutes.
Not plenty of... Oh, sorry. 17 minutes for Fabi. 8 minutes for
Oh, sorry.
Firouzja.
Yes, my apologies.
Yeah, Firouzja here, he's been playing every move instantly because he's had no other legal move. It's so depressing when your opponent just gives you no option other than to just hope for the draw, hope for the repetition, and this is the remnants of what has happened. Oh, he does play rook takes pawn, at least creating a threat. Mate in 1, rook takes g7 threatened, but moment of truth, Judith. Do you think he's going to go active with the black queen or trade off?
Trade off. That's
Cynical but effective, and we see a resignation.
what a
Firouzja.
game.
Beautiful.
What a game.
To me, it was perfection. Like from the choice of opening to the way he handled the complications. Wonderful, wonderful game by Fabiano Caruana.